Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at something pretty profound.
Oh, yeah.
The sequence of Allah's names in the final verses of Surah Al-Hashr.
Okay.
And we have some excerpts from an Islamic scholar's work that are going to be guiding us through this.
Cool.
I think it's going to be super insightful.
Yeah, what's really interesting about this is we're not just looking at the meanings of the names,
Right.
but the order they're revealed in.
Mm.
That order actually tells us something about who Allah is and how we relate to him.
Okay, so we're talking about more than just a list of names here. It's
Right.
like Allah is giving us a carefully crafted message,
Exactly.
a code to unlock a deeper understanding.
Yeah.
You know what I find really interesting is that it all starts with a warning about forgetting Allah. It's like the verse is setting the stage for what comes next.
It is. Yeah, it's crucial because if we forget Allah, we forget ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We forget our purpose, our true north.
Yeah.
In today's world with constant notifications, deadlines,
Oh, yeah.
it's so easy to just get caught up in the hustle and bustle and forget to pause and connect with Allah.
Right.
We might end up chasing worldly desires or feeling pressured to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
And before we know it, our connection with the divine just fades.
It's so true. It's like we're constantly bombarded with distractions that pull us away from what truly matters.
Exactly.
But, the beautiful thing is these verses offer us a way out of that forgetfulness.
They do.
A path to truly knowing Allah through his names.
Precisely. And that path begins with the most fundamental declaration.
Okay.
He is Allah. There is no God except him.
Powerful.
A statement of oneness, pure monotheism.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about, who deserves our worship.
Right.
It's a reminder that nothing and no one else is worthy of our ultimate love, submission, and devotion.
It really makes you think about, what we might be putting on a pedestal in our lives.
Yeah.
What are our modern day idols that we're prioritizing without even realizing it?
That's a great question. I mean, it could be our careers, material possessions, social status,
Right.
or even our own desires.
Yeah.
Anything that we allow to take precedence over our relationship with Allah can become an idol in a sense.
That's pretty sobering.
It is.
But thankfully, the verse doesn't leave us hanging there.
Right.
It immediately follows with knower of the seen and unseen.
Yes.
And this brings us to the concept of al-ghaib, the unseen realm.
Mm-hmm.
Everything beyond our limited human perception.
Yeah.
It's pretty humbling to think about all that we don't know,
It is.
all that's happening beyond our grasp.
It certainly is. And this idea of Allah's knowledge of the unseen ties in beautifully with the story of Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him.
Okay.
Remember how he faced incredibly difficult trials,
Mm-hmm.
situations that just seemed so unfair in the moment?
Yeah.
But looking back, we see how every single event played a crucial role in his journey,
Right.
eventually leading him to a position of honor and authority.
It's a classic example of how trusting in Allah's plan, even when we don't understand it,
Yeah,
can bring us peace.
he does.
Because he sees the bigger picture,
He does.
even when we're stuck in the middle of, a difficult chapter.
Right.
And speaking of peace, the verse continues with two of Allah's most beautiful names,
Yes.
Al-Rahman Al-Rahim, the most compassionate, the most merciful.
There's so much depth to these names.
Yeah.
Ar-Rahman signifies that intensity
Mm,
and all-encompassing nature of Allah's mercy,
right.
while Al-Rahim highlights its permanence, its unwavering nature.
They're like a warm embrace, especially when we're going through tough times
Absolutely.
or feeling down about our own mistakes.
Yeah.
I remember the hadith where the Prophet, peace be upon him, compares Allah's mercy to a mother's love for her child, saying that Allah's mercy is even greater.
Yes. And there's another hadith that I think beautifully illustrates this point.
Okay.
When Allah completed the creation, he wrote in his book, with him upon the throne, "Verily, my mercy prevails over my wrath."
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so comforting to know that no matter what we face, Allah's mercy is always there, ready to embrace us.
It is.
Understanding him as Al-Rahman and Al-Rahim offers immense hope and solace,
Yeah.
even in the darkest of times. And this is just the beginning of our exploration.
It is indeed. The next verse introduces a whole new dimension to our understanding of Allah with a series of names that emphasize his majesty and sovereignty.
Okay.
The verse begins, "The King, the Most Holy, the All-Perfect."
Okay.
We're talking about Al-Malik Al-Qudus Al-Salam.
Wow.
Names that reveal Allah's absolute authority, his transcendence above any flaw
Right.
or imperfection, and his state of perfect and eternal peace.
Wow, that's a lot to take in.
It is.
So Allah, as Al-Malik the King, how does that concept play out in our lives, especially when we're dealing with, all sorts of worldly authorities
Right.
and struggles with power?
Well, it's a powerful reminder that the true source of all power rests with Allah.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. We're constantly bombarded with all these ideas of authority.
Oh.
Governments, societal norms,
Right.
even, influencers trying to sway our opinions.
Right.
It's easy to lose sight of the fact that ultimately all power belongs to Allah.
Yeah.
He's the one who sets the true standard,
Right.
the one whose laws are truly just and enduring.
So it's about aligning ourselves with his commands.
Exactly.
Seeking guidance from him rather than blindly following whatever's trending or whoever shouts the loudest.
Exactly. It challenges us to examine those, rules or influences we might be following that actually contradict Allah's guidance.
Yeah. What are some examples?
Like, think about the pressure to chase success at all costs, even if it means compromising our values or neglecting our families. That's a rule a lot of people follow, but it clearly goes against what Allah wants for us.
Yeah, that's such a relevant example. Okay, but then we have Al-Qudus, the Most Holy.
Yes.
That's a concept I've always found both intriguing and a bit difficult to grasp. How can our limited human minds even begin to understand Allah's absolute perfection?
It is a challenge.
Yeah.
Because we tend to project our own, human limitations and experiences onto Allah.
Right.
We've all encountered, flawed individuals and might even carry some negative baggage from those interactions.
Yeah.
But Al-Qudus reminds us that Allah is completely free from any defect, any imperfection.
Right.
His actions, his knowledge, his very essence, all are pure and holy.
So it's about purifying our understanding of Allah,
Yeah.
letting go of those negative projections we might have based on our own imperfect experiences.
Precisely. And this leads beautifully into Al-Salam, the source of perfect serenity. We all long for peace, right? We do. We seek it in relationships, material possessions, experiences.
Yeah, we try retail therapy. We try escaping to a beach somewhere.
Exactly.
But the stress just seems to follow us.
It does. Those things might offer temporary relief.
Right.
But they don't address the root cause of our anxieties.
It's like putting a Band-Aid on a deep wound.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Allah, as Al-Salam offers a different kind of peace.
Okay.
A peace that's rooted in understanding, in surrender,
Yeah.
in knowing that he's in control and that he cares for us deeply.
It's not a passive peace either.
No.
It's an active peace that comes from aligning our lives with his will.
Absolutely.
From finding comfort in prayer.
Yes.
In connecting with him on a deeper level.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's recognizing that true peace comes from submission to Al-Malik.
Right.
From purifying our understanding of him as Al-Qudus. And from finding solace in his perfect and eternal peace as Al-Salam.
Wow, that's really beautiful. Okay, so the verses continue with the Watcher, the Almighty, the Supreme, and like the Majestic. We're talking Al-Muhaymin, Al-Aziz, Al-Jabbar, Al-Mutakabir.
Yes.
I feel like we're climbing a staircase of awe and majesty with each name.
We are.
What insights do these names offer us?
Well, these names emphasize Allah's absolute power and control.
Okay.
Reminding us that he governs all things.
Right.
Al-Muhaymin, the controller. The Watcher tells us that he's aware of everything. Even those things hidden from our view.
It's both comforting and a bit daunting to know that nothing escapes his notice.
It is.
That he's always watching over us.
Right. It's about recognizing that even when we feel like we're losing control, even when things seem chaotic and unpredictable, Allah is still in control.
So it's a call to surrender to his will, to trust in his plan.
Exactly.
Even when we don't fully understand it.
And this ties into the next name, Al-Aziz, the Almighty. It's a reminder that true strength and honor come from Allah.
Okay.
Not from those fleeting sources of power that we often chase in this world.
It's like when we're constantly seeking validation through, social media likes or comparing ourselves to others.
Right.
We're looking for strength and worth in things that are ultimately empty and fleeting.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
But the strength and honor that come from aligning ourselves with Allah's will.
Yeah.
That's what truly endures.
So it's about shifting our focus from external validation to cultivating a deep inner strength that comes from our connection with Allah.
Precisely. And then we have Al-Jabbar, the Compeller.
Yes.
A name that speaks to Allah's absolute power to compel all creation, to subdue all things to his will. But it also has another beautiful meaning.
Okay.
Mending what's broken. providing solace and healing.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's almost like this name has two sides.
Yes.
The overwhelming power and the gentle restoration.
And it's so beautifully placed after Al-Aziz because it reminds us that even when faced with overwhelming situations,
Right.
even when we feel broken and helpless,
Yeah.
Allah is there to mend our hearts, to provide comfort and strength.
This reminds me of the story of Prophet Musa's mother when she had to let go of her baby in the river. You know, she was completely heartbroken.
Yes.
But Allah reassured her heart, guided her, and ultimately reunited her with her son.
That's a powerful example of how, even in the most desperate of circumstances,
Right.
we can turn to Allah as Al-Jabbar, knowing that He has the power to heal, to restore, to make us whole again. And then we reach the culmination of this sequence. Al-Mutakabir, the majestic, the proud.
Yeah.
It's like the grand finale,
Right.
a reminder of Allah's unique and perfect greatness.
It's such a powerful name, but it also makes you think about, you know, how easy it is to fall into arrogance and false pride ourselves, doesn't it?
It does. It's a challenge to cultivate humility in the face of Allah's majesty.
Yeah.
I mean, we're constantly comparing ourselves to others,
Right.
striving for worldly success, when true greatness belongs to Allah alone.
Right.
It's like that saying, don't compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel.
So true.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's about recognizing that our worth and value come from Allah,
Right.
not from, external achievements or comparisons.
And it's not just about avoiding arrogance. It's also about finding comfort in Allah's greatness. You know, when we feel small or insignificant, when our problems seem overwhelming.
Right.
Al-Mutakabir reminds us that there's something infinitely greater than ourselves.
Yes.
A power that can handle anything we face.
It's like a breath of fresh air knowing that we don't have to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders.
And then the verse closes with this beautiful statement.
Yes.
Glorified is Allah, far above what they associate with him.
It's powerful.
It feels like a seal of authenticity.
It is.
A reminder of Allah's absolute oneness and transcendence.
It's a powerful reminder to detach our hearts from anything that might compete with Allah. For our worship, our love, our ultimate allegiance.
Yeah.
To remember that He is unlike anything we can imagine.
Right.
Far beyond any limitations or comparisons.
It's amazing how these verses flow so seamlessly.
They do.
Each name building upon the previous one.
Yeah.
Addressing our doubts, fears, anxieties. And ultimately leading us to a deeper understanding of Allah and our place in His creation. It's mind-blowing.
It is.
But we're not done yet.
We're not.
Just when you think it can't get any more awe-inspiring.
Right.
The next verse takes us on a whole new journey. The journey of creation. So we've explored Allah's, all-encompassing knowledge and mercy, His absolute sovereignty and power.
Yeah.
And now we're diving into the realm of creation.
Yeah.
The next verse introduces these three powerful names.
Okay.
Al-Khaliq, Al-Bari, Al-Musawwir. The creator, the producer, the fashioner. And they're not just listed randomly, are they?
Not at all. Their sequence is incredibly significant.
Okay.
It beautifully reflects the stages of creation, highlighting Allah's unique power and wisdom
Right.
in bringing forth everything that exists, including ourselves.
Okay, I'm all ears. Break that down for me.
Okay.
What's the distinction between these three names, and why is their order so important?
So Al-Salik, the creator, refers to Allah's ability to bring something from absolute non-existence into being.
Okay.
It's the initial act of creation, the spark that ignites everything.
Right.
Then we have Al-Bari, the producer, which emphasizes the formation, the development,
Right.
the intricate design of what has been created.
Okay.
And finally, Al-Musawwir, the fashioner, points to the shaping, the refining, the giving of form and beauty to the creation.
It's like watching a master artist at work, isn't it?
Yes.
First, there's the inspiration, the blank canvas.
Right.
Then come the initial strokes, the bold lines
Yeah.
that, start to define the composition. And finally, the artist adds those delicate details,
Right.
those finishing touches that bring the artwork to life.
What a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And when we think about, our own creation,
Yeah.
it's even more awe-inspiring. We're not just random accidents.
Right.
We're meticulously designed, fashioned with care by the one who possesses infinite knowledge, mercy, and power.
It really makes you appreciate the complexity and beauty of creation.
It does.
Including ourselves.
Yes.
To see ourselves as individual works of art,
Yeah.
each unique and purposeful.
Absolutely. And this leads to a very important statement in the verse.
Okay.
To Him belong the best names.
Powerful.
It's a gentle reminder that we've only glimpsed a fraction of Allah's infinite attributes.
Right.
His names and qualities extend far beyond our human comprehension.
It's like saying, and that's not all, folks. There's so much more to discover, so much more to learn.
Exactly.
About the one who created us.
And as if that wasn't enough to leave us in awe.
Right.
The chapter concludes with this powerful affirmation. Yep. Whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on the earth exalts Allah, and He is the exalted in might the wise.
It's like a cosmic chorus of praise.
It is.
With all of creation acknowledging Allah's greatness.
Yeah.
And notice how we have that pairing again.
We do.
Al-Aziz, the Almighty, and Al-Hakim, the Wise. What's the significance of these names appearing together at the very end?
It's a reminder that Allah's power is always coupled with wisdom.
Okay.
Everything He does has a purpose, a meaning.
Right.
Even if we don't fully grasp it in the moment.
Yeah.
We see this reflected in the diversity of creation. Each of us is unique with our own strengths and weaknesses.
Right.
Our own ways of experiencing and contributing to the world.
Yeah.
And that's all part of Allah's wise design.
So it's about trusting that even when things seem difficult or confusing,
yes,
there's a bigger picture unfolding that we might not fully understand.
Right.
And to remember that our differences, our, individual quirks and challenges, are all part of that divine plan.
Exactly. And this is especially relevant, in a world that often tries to fit us into these narrow boxes.
Right.
To make us feel inadequate if we don't conform to certain standards. Al-Aziz Al-Hakim reminds us that we're each created with a purpose.
Right.
That our differences are not flaws, but rather reflections of Allah's infinite wisdom and artistry.
It's such a liberating thought. So we've journeyed through these incredible names, each revealing a different facet of Allah's nature and His relationship with us.
Yeah.
What stood out to you most during this deep dive?
What really struck me is how seamlessly these names flow together.
Yeah.
Each one building upon the previous one.
Right.
Addressing our doubts, our fears, our anxieties, and ultimately guiding us towards a deeper understanding of Allah and our place in His magnificent creation.
I completely agree. It's been such an eye-opening exploration. And to our listeners, I encourage you to reflect on these names.
Yeah.
Explore their deeper meanings and see how they resonate with you.
Yeah.
How can they strengthen your connection with Allah? What new insights can you glean from pondering their sequence and significance?
Remember, this is just a glimpse into a vast ocean of knowledge contained within the Qur'an.
Right.
Keep exploring, keep seeking, and keep deepening your understanding of Allah's beautiful names.
Yeah.
They offer comfort, guidance, and a path to a more profound connection with the divine.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Join us next time as we explore another fascinating topic, uncovering hidden gems of knowledge and insight. Until then, may Allah guide us all to a deeper understanding of Him and His infinite wisdom.